usually so long-lasting and run smoothly. Would you like to have your own in-ring wedding with Johnny on the show, or do you think that that's not something that fits your character?
Oh, which character are you talking about? Are you talking about Impact Taya, or are you talking about Lucha Underground Taya? I feel like Impact Taya doesn't even know Johnny Impact, so that wouldn't even really make any sense. I'm like, Johnny Mundo and Taya have been affiliated now for this will be a third season, so I mean, you never know what could happen. Wrestling weddings are a classic scene in the wrestling world, so who knows? I'm just more excited about our real wedding that's coming up in a few months. I'm less than 3 months away. It's actually really scary and exciting at the same time. It's creeping up, so that's really what I'm focused on right now. Is actually getting down the aisle to marry my best friend and in front of all of our family and friends. So, yeah.
Fair enough, and good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Taya, it's Mike Johnson from PW Insider. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. So, over the course of this conference call, you talked a lot about the different places you've gone and trained, and I think one of the things that stands out about your career is this kind of like an eclectic background that's kind of helped get you to where you are. What advice do you give to women who are breaking into the independents now or training at schools in terms of pushing themselves outside of the boundaries of where they are geographically and going out to learn different styles? Because I think what you did is very different than what most talents first breaking into the business do. They break in and they work in a certain geographic area. Then as they start to build the name and get some buzz, they might get booked elsewhere. You had a very different sort of path to where you are now. What advice can you give to others about how they should follow that path or maybe take a similar tack to what you did?
Well, I think that if I had a daughter and my daughter told me that she was going to Mexico, I would probably flip out and say no. So, I mean, I understand that what I did was a little bit nuts, but I also didn't allow anything to restrict me. So I've said this before, like, I was offered a WWE contract and then it fell through. I was absolutely just so depressed and sad and disappointed that, you know, I had this dream and it was given to me and then it was taken away. So when the Mexico thing came up, I really just on pure guts and gumption and you know, crazy vibes of just wanting to accomplish my dream, I went for it. And I think that some people, and I really didn't think about it, and that's probably very stupid to a certain degree, and I'm lucky enough that I met the right people that took care of me and protected me and led me on the right track. And I know that out there, like, it's a scary world out there, especially now, and things get a little nuts. But you know what? I would never take it back. I went with my gut. I did what I had to do. I trained, I wrestled, I sacrificed, I had money. I didn't have any money. I was, you know, living in a tiny apartment in downtown Mexico City. I lived in a house with Conan, who completely took care of me for, like, the longest time, and still is a huge part of my life. And that's one of those people that, like, totally helped me get through this. So I feel like if you want to be a pro wrestler, if you want to be anything in your life, there's always going to be a moment where you have to make that decision to either pick one path or the other. And I picked the crazy, curvy, bumpy road, which was going to Mexico, but in the end it was the right decision. So I think that women breaking in now, you know, look for those different opportunities. Don't do it the cookie cutter way. That's not even fun. It's always more interesting and, you know, a little bit, I don't know, like, I just think that all those challenges that I had made me who I am, and I wouldn't have gotten to where I am if those things didn't happen to me, and I didn't have to face those crazy obstacles that were living in Mexico, that were breaking into, you know, a lucha libre as a Canadian blonde chick, you know, that was no Spanish. I mean, those things just created Taya Valkyrie and Taya that you see today on Lucha and on Impact, and just take a chance. If this is what you really want to do, ask questions, find different teachers, find people that know, you know, that haven't taken that, you know, normal path, and really pick their brain. And I always say, I'm like, if anybody has any questions at shows for me, absolutely feel free to ask me. I'll always be honest. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I will tell you, you know, my opinion about things. And I just say, like, take that road less traveled, push yourself. You have no limitations but the limits you put on yourself. So create that destiny and create that life that you want. And if it's in wrestling, then do what you have to do, travel to where you have to travel, sleep on the floor, eat rice for a month, like, that's what, that's what makes this life unbelievable and crazy. There's going to be those harsh moments, but payoff is just so great when you actually do get through to the end. And now I get to, have this wonderful life, and I'm still busting my butt every day and training every day, and it's still stressful. It's still hard. Nothing is ever easy, but it's worth it because I get to do what I love every week. And I have such an amazing, supportive group of friends and a fiance that, has truly given me a life that I never thought was possible. And all of that came from wrestling, and all of that came from the sacrifice that I made and making that decision to go to Mexico and not taking that simple road. So that's what I would tell women.